This is what I forgot to say. Want to say two things. One was that in terms of my doppelganger video, when I talked about seeing myself, there's a TikTok. I actually got to go through my messages with talking with this person. But there's this TikTok of where this black guy was explaining how he noticed how basically he went to go see his postman. And I got to post this TikTok, but he went to go see his postman. And then he saw he got in his car and he left. You know, the guy that was saying this message, he got in his car and he left after he saw his postman. And then, lo and behold, he sees his postman again, but his postman is in another location. And he was talking about this is real because CERN is tampering with time and all this other stuff. And I got to do a TikTok on a lot of stuff. I got to compile videos. I work. I write books. I like enjoying myself, but this stuff takes time and effort. But basically, that was the same situation that happened with me, but it was in the car and it happened within a millisecond. So that actually is a thing. I'm gonna post that video whenever I can later on in the day or whenever. But that happened. And then another thing that actually, lo and behold, it happened without me saying something that it was basically, I had a video where I talked about being confronted by false prophets and mega church pastors, where basically they got mad because, summing this up, they got mad because despite me being right about everything happening in the world and in their life, they still want to sit here, persecute me and bash me because I can't recite something as simple as a Bible verse. In which case, that's where I talked about I had a black tiger, which those are actually a thing, but they're rare, at a black tiger, and I sicked it on them to basically to eat them and kill them and stuff, because at that point what they were doing was harassment. I want to sit here and say that with the zombie stuff that I talked about with avoiding these types of people, that video that you can watch, I sat there about the lady who abandoned her faith and all these other things, contradicting herself. There's a lady in her comment section that, long story short, after a person called this lady who abandoned her faith out on, once that lady commented, there was another lady causing division on that lady's channel, and then she came over to her page, and I followed this lady. I'm saying lady a lot. I'm not going to name drop people, but she came onto this other lady's page, and when she made a community post about it, she decided to sit there and she wanted to argue with me. And she was arguing with me when I sat there and I said something about basically even the elect will be deceived. You know, that's just me basically saying that even people who sit here and think that they're one of God's chosen people and all this other stuff, they'll be deceived. Was just saying that. Didn't recite no Bible verse, didn't recite any of that. This lady tried to sit here and come down my throat and say, and that sounds messed up, but anyway, tried to sit here and come down my throat and say that, oh, well, tried to say that I'm not a prophet, that nonetheless I'm not a prophet, but I'm also not a false prophet. Neither of them, which makes no sense because you're either a prophet or a false prophet. And she said that yet alone you can't even sit here and say the Bible verse. But yet, lo and behold, this same individual, this same retard, runs the ministry or whatever the case, and this is the type of people I tell you to avoid, wants to sit here and say that she was delivering people that got juiced up and all this other stuff, and she delivered them from this stuff when it's been proven and it's factual. It is factual that this stuff that is in people, it's not just disease. It's not just nanobots. It is actually black goo, which is demonic. It's actually demons inside of these people, and it's attached to your bloodstream. You can't get delivered from this. You can't get saved from this. None of this stuff. And I want to sit here and say this, and I wasn't going to mention this because I actually just remembered this. But I talked about going back and forth to dimensions and all this other stuff. But there was a dream I had a long time ago where I went into the future. And basically, I'm telling you the truth. Where I went into the future, it was like another dimension or whatever the case it was. And it was searching for, because, you know, I've talked about on my business page and some of my rhymes, how CERN isn't just the people that open up portals, but they're also interdimensional colonists. colonization, where if you don't know what colonization is, I'm not going to explain it to you, but they're interdimensional colonists. They go into other dimensions and they colonize on these dimensions, stuff like Stargate, Atlantis, and all that other stuff. The point is, I went to another dimension and I tried to find technology where basically that could basically strip the nanobots out of you, so you wouldn't have the mark of the beast. God took me there. And lo and behold, God still sat there and he told me that there's nothing you can do about this. Even if you went to another dimension, to another timeline, another future, there is nothing that can get this out your system. Period. And that is something that nobody on YouTube will ever tell you. Because this stuff is really, that type of stuff, really, it's in comic books and it's in cartoons, and that includes anime, where they try and strip nanobots out of people, and they try and sit there and make you think it works, but it really can't. Because by that time, once it hits, even if you got rid of a chip that's in somebody, at that point, the nanobots and the stuff that these people want to sit here and delay to your system, it's already attached to your bloodstream. So therefore, the only way to actually get rid of the nanobots in that person is to kill them. There's a Teen Titans episode about that, where Slade, he puts nanobots inside of the Teen Titans to basically make Robin work for him. And basically, lo and behold, there you go. And it amazes me. Hold on. And it really doesn't amaze me at this point, but it should baffle you and it should amaze you at the fact that, lo and behold, these people that are saying stuff about how the Bible, the Revelations needs to be in order. But lo and behold, once again, this is why it's important to have a relationship with God, with God. I'm going to say God. I'm not going to sit here and say Jesus and God. I'm trying to save time. But this is why it's important to have a relationship with God, because you have a relationship with God. God gives you gifts. God gives you a lot of things, but he also tells you a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't know. And lo and behold, here those people are, giving up their life for a job, a loved one, trying to have sex with people. I worked with a coworker who literally sold her soul, and she got juiced up just to sit here and go to some energy harvesting concert that was worth her soul. Some people will literally sell their soul over a job. Some people will sell their soul over sex. How much is your soul worth? Answer that question. The devil offered me $25 million, and I turned that up and I said no. If you can't bribe a man with $25 million, he ain't gonna buy a bill. He ain't gonna sell his soul for $1 billion, not $1 trillion. Not if you sat here and offered an entire vault of gold like Scrooge McDuck. You wouldn't sell his soul. But my point is that lo and behold, these people these retards, which they can really be called Pharisees, really. But I'm just go with the term retards, because at this point, I am making fun of people. Not making fun of them, but I'm telling them how it is. You're retarded if you think that Revelations needs to be in order, when literally, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. And so, once again, but when you sit here and you back up stuff with articles, proof, evidence, and you show people this stuff, they're still in denial. And the reason they're still in denial is because that they worship the devil more than they do God. And that goes into an acronym that I'm going to continue to say: fear over God, FOG, fear over God. And once you put that fear over God, you get consumed by the demons in the fog. And if you've seen horror movies that have monsters and demons in them that involve fog, you already know how it is. But that's my point. You can't reason with these people, and it's not worth arguing with these people. And for the people that sit here and they also want to sit here and say that once a person sits here and says the words, it's only a precursor, this isn't it, or whatever the case it is, they've already spiritually accepted the mark of the beast, because you don't have to have it in, you don't have to line up and take this stuff, nor do you have to sit here and have sex with somebody to do this stuff. All you got to do is you just got to believe in it. And that alone is enough, and that makes you a target and a mark for the devil. You can still save yourself, but pretty much because you haven't gotten it in you. But pretty much once you say those words and you double down on it and you believe it, lo and behold, you are marked, you are ripe for the picking, and you are for the devil. And that is why God splits out a lot of people, and why he's doing it now, because people don't actually believe in God and Jesus and what they're actually about to do. People don't believe in it. People just sit here and think that I'm not going to experience the stuff with the tribulation, all this other stuff. Well, realistically, it don't matter. The point is that, are you willing to fight for what you believe in? And a lot of people are willing, and excuse my language, are damn sure in hell are just willing to just roll over and die and say, take me in, feed me, do all these other things because I've given up on my faith, and you can't even fight for your faith. People can't even fight mentally. If people can't fight physically for themselves nor mentally, they ain't gonna fight spiritually. So I want to sit here, come on and say that. And that's what I forgot to say. That is exactly what I forgot to say. And anybody you know that is taking this stuff, I'm not going to sit here and explain the list of exceptions and stuff, but pretty much if it ain't been forced on them, and if they're a believer and whatnot, they're done. That choice has already been made for them, and their time is up. So if you're a non-believer and you lined up and took this, or you slept with somebody, time's up. Time's up. The decision is made for you. There you go. So that's it. That's all the videos I'm going to be posting today. If I find that TikTok video, which I'm going to go through my messages because I was talking to somebody about this stuff, then I will. But other than that, I hope you got something out of this, and I hope you have a blessed day. So there you go.